Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. What's going on? Are you on a caper of some sort? A gambit? It's me, host Eric, host of Talking with Fantasy People. An undertaking, an adventure. This is private information. You can't see that, okay? You can't see that either. You'll ruin everything forever if you do. Stop looking at me. This is private. This is all private around here. Keep your eyes off of it. I was really thinking today a lot about how ultimately communicative self, the affect of the self that you present to others, the approaches you take to communicating with others, it just grew there. It grew. At first it was about yay big. Gradually, big and bigger and bigger. Called a corkinova. This is like a supernova of cork. For astronomers who tire of seeing the behaviors of the stars in the sky, look to the noble and yet humble cork tree. It grows in perfect rectangles like this, which makes it great for penning things into. And if you're lucky, it'll one day fall into the gravitational well of another cork tree, and you get a corkinova. As the two cork trees collide, releasing trillions of joules worth of fiery ejaculate. And so it was that the corkinova spewed trillions of joules worth of fire ejaculate. Webinar. Don't webinar me is something I frequently do. I'm kind of tired right now. I'm kind of like punch drunk. I've been kind of thwacked last 2 days. Sort of caught up with me. Got about an hour and 15 minutes or so to live stream here because I was on bed around 10 o'clock. Finding these function bowls. Chatting with folk. Alexander Cruz reports, quote, I missed the live stream earlier with Rahel and the webinar with Flow State. Shakes head in shame. Well, Alexandra, thanks for writing in. The solution to that is to put more gerbils in your mouth. Where did that board come from? It's a good question in general. If you're asking somebody that question, it's like if you just get out of context a report that, he said, where did that board come from? It could mean any number of things. So many different things it could mean. Right? Could be referring to some sort of boardroom, like a board of directors. Could refer to a piece of wood, a board like that. Could be like a paddle or something, like someone's getting spanked. Where did that board come from? Why aren't you getting notifications? I don't know. People want to bitch at me about this. I don't fucking know. I don't do anything wrong. Yeah, because I typically turn it so it would get my head. I don't know. It's just a mess right now. I got to reorganize this whole space, and I got to reset. Now that Rich is gone, reset the space for me alone, and generally do some housekeeping around here. Been a whirlwind week or so. I mean, just absolute whirlwind of a week. And really, this is the moment it feels like the week kind of ends. That last video with Rachel brought an end. Is the last video that is about the episode, basically. Going forward, we're talking about whatever we're going to be talking about. Certainly have no interest in dwelling on it. So, yeah, she looks great, right? Sometimes you just gotta. Look, it's like anything in life. Let's say your stomach's acting up. You get cramps in your stomach, and you're like, oh, and all this gas is moving around in there, and it's just like, oh. And then you just shit it up, just like this gushing shit stream, comes out of you. And you're just like, oh, I'm awful. And, let's imagine even it's so bad that it just like squirts all over the bathroom. There's shit everywhere. And then you got to stand there and try to clean it all up and all that kind of shit, right? But then when you finally get it through it all, you realize your stomach doesn't hurt anymore and you feel fine, and it's quite refreshing to have gotten all that poop out of you. Similarly with crying about things. When something does seem sad and you cry about it, all right, when I cry about it, I always realize afterwards when I'm done crying that I generally feel, yes, she did. And she talked about it a little bit in that video, how much she appreciated it, and that she's also going to plan to make a video for her own channel to thank everybody for that. Yeah, she does. Yep. Like my dad dealt with the garage entirely himself. I had nothing to do with it, cleaning it up. And garage door opener has been replaced with a new quiet one. You can barely hear it when you push the button. It's pretty good, pretty impressive. Because the old garage door opener was quite loud. Of course, there's kind of advantages to having the garage door be loud, like for me anyway, because I can hear. I sort of get a heads up when my dad's coming home. With the old garage door, I don't think I can tell anymore when it's opening. Like I can hear it. We should all be obliged to appear before a board every 5 years and justify our existence on pain of liquidation. That would. Some of us, that puts a lot of weight on the skill of justifying things, right? It's like you'd have a society filled with nothing but lawyers. Everybody else would fail in their self-justification. Peter can paddle. Yeah, he can. Peter gonna paddle my ass till it's tan. Peter can paddle. Yeah, he can. Paddle on, Peter. Paddle, 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 Peter, paddle. Kahuna, huh? Matt Evans, hi. Hi, right back at you. Your greeting is reciprocated by greeting of my own, An equivalent greeting? The greeting hi. Well, I'm sorry. Poor diction. It's not an equivalent greeting. It's the exact same greeting. Hi. Countess paddles Peter. If Countess paddles Peter, then Peter's paddle parses persimmons. And if Peter's paddle parses persimmons, then the Countess will run out of nuts. Now, additionally, we all know that if ifs and buts were candies and nuts, we'd all have Merry Christmas. I'll additionally tell you that it's not the case that if not both candy and nuts, that we will nevertheless still have a Merry Christmas. And in fact, Peter's, and in fact, Countess does paddle Peter, then what can we conclude? There. You know what fucking pissed me off today? What I just got so mad about? Well, not really so mad. I got so like, oh, that's shitty. Fuck this thing. The Sudoku in the paper. First I tried the big one, then I tried the small one. They're both tough level. I don't mind not being able to finish them. Like, I don't mind getting stuck. But I hate it when I think I'm not stuck and then there's some contradictions show up and I realize I fucked it up somewhere along the way. I hate that. It's like, because, if you're doing it in the paper and you've written in the things, it's like, no, you're not going to bother erasing it and fuck it. Does everybody know? Anybody know what I'm saying? What I'm talking about specifically? The two different ways to fuck up Sudoku. Number one, to fail to answer it. To fail to figure out how to solve the next step thing that is, you can't get to. And number two is to make a mistake. I hate number two with Sudoku. Nobody's listening to me. This is my problem in life. Nobody listens to me. That's not really true. Probably I get listened to more than most people, I would imagine. At least 80% more than most people get listened to. Sudoku. Is that what it's called? Am I calling it the wrong name? Sudoku or Sudoku? Okay, well, would everybody know how to do it, though? Do you know how to do Sudoku? I know, Hamburger's a joke. Obviously, it's a joke. You don't need your memory to do Sudoku. You don't need memory to do Sudoku. Sudoku. Okay. Let's see what level this is. Easy puzzle. So, if you're not familiar with how it goes, every line, it's like everything's got to fill up, right? I like it, but I should be better at it. It just goes to show you that TI tool is not the same as TI Dom. I'm not that good at it. Untangle a ball of thread. Good luck on your art project. Who's making an art project? It's called Sudoku. That's what it's called, Countess. Stop sucking my Sudoku. It's something Misty was always saying in Pokemon. You gonna do a channel for the project? You mean you're gonna do a channel for the projects, right? Like, this channel is for the projects where I'm from. Where you cannot get up out of your bed without 10 rats jumping on your face and chewing your fucking nose off. I'm talking about the projects. That's what this channel is all about. It's not about it, but it's for it. It's at least positions itself metaphorically as wishing well towards that general domain of thing, insofar at least as it's not wishing specific ill. The art college, cool. Ooh, I like art. Let's make something arty. I have an idea for a video. What if you posted a Mad Libs and everybody comments and later you post a song with their names and their Mad Lib? That's a very TE kind of thing. It involves multiple steps that sound so easy to state, but actually are much more complicated than that. You gotta post this thing and then wait for the things to come in and then follow through on that. And then it's like, what? I can barely go to the bathroom. The projects. I'm for the projects, man. None but fucking Sudoku for walls. Anytime I see a square block full of 9 numbers, I freak the fuck out. Because I fart too much, Jeebus, obviously. A lot of reasons. Watch out if you put them on double speed. You have to. Oh, fucking Sudoku, you stay open a window. Me too, you guys. I can do a really good bedroom voice. All right. Are you ready? I call this bedroom voice sultry female. Well, hello, boys. It's me, sultry female. Is that your earlobe? I'm sorry. I have to get close to whisper. Now I'll do ENFP bedroom voice. Baby, I am so serious. I feel so strongly about you. And, I know I said earlier that I wanted to go to the Arboretum, but I changed my mind. Let's go to that ghost town. Let's do it. Let's just go. Let's go to that ghost town. I am writing a dissertation on the movement of imperialism across the West and, Old West. That's sultry ENFP bedroom voice. Okay. Now, here's Latin Suave. Okay. Bedroom voice. when you are ready to really know the ways of la boca de bedroom, the voice of the bedroom, you gotta come down to Puerto Rico. Yeah, in my homeland of Puerto Rico. Here, we're not just a land of grapefruit flavor. We're also a land of sultry bedroom voices. If you want to make love to a beautiful woman, come to Puerto Rico. Just stepping off the plane, you're making love to a beautiful woman. Puerto Rico herself. Okay, now we'll do ESTJ bedroom voice. Jane. You're restless. You're rolling around a bit. Can you be still, please? I do have an early meeting in the morning. Did you put the clothes in the top drawer like I asked you to? Why is that armoire scooted over? I had it up right flush against the corner yesterday, and that's ESTJ bedroom voice. ESFJ bedroom voice. We make the cutest couple. You and me. And when we bring the dogs, and we're like, you remember that picture we took? We were at the park, and there was that mural. Do you remember that mural? That mural, it was so funny. It was such a quirky mural. And we went up there, and remember how Lacey was squirming, and she was squirming in your arms, and you were like, hurry up and take a picture. But I knew you liked it, didn't you? You loved it. Today, I choose joy. The joy of my misremembering past things on purpose to change the story to more to my liking. That is a joyful moment. Candace, you were remembering a different trip than me because all I remember was us mostly fighting. I was joking. We were having fun. Okay. You didn't seem like you were having fun at the time. You seemed like you were in an incredibly pissy mood. What? Listen. The moment it struck 4 o'clock, you made us leave the wedding. You agreed to leave at 4. Okay, but they hadn't even taken the last set of pictures yet. They're only taking 4 sets of the pictures. Meta? Oh. Actually, I'm sorry. That's a misspelling. It's supposed to say meat. I misspelled it every time is the problem. That's my bad. I'm always getting the A and the T backwards when I'm writing the word meat. Okay, now, next, I'm going to do INTP bedroom voice. So, you want to maybe talk about abstracting about whether or not we should make a list delineating various possibilities regarding whether we should do something? I don't want to push too hard here. I don't want to jump too far ahead in this process of going from the current state of relative equilibrium to a later state of somewhat disrupted equilibrium is not entirely predictable and requires some sort of, I don't know, exertion. But we could ideate about it some more. Would you like to do that, honey? Would you like to talk about places that we might want to go if we were going to go someplace? We could do that. Briefly, it's kind of a boring topic, but how about we could talk about ways in which this conversation is demonstrative of how we each think and why it's important to incorporate, a lot of different perspectives. You want to talk about that? Would that be meta enough for you? I'm just an INTB, thinking that's lovely, thinking this lady must be very turned on by my chit chatter about philosophy. Yes, I'm an INTP. So, who are you to talk, Eric? ENTPs aren't any better, I always think I can joke my way into sex. Yeah, she'll be able to see this video. Sure. Why not? Why wouldn't it? Oh, I'm sorry, Taylor. I'll fill you in. Actually, I misspelled it. It's supposed to say meat. You're a metasexual. That's cool. You only like to have sex with something if it's made out of meat. No, that's a necessary but not sufficient condition for having sex with it. I'm the same way. Totally the same way. Being made of meat is a necessary but insufficient condition for sexual viability for me. TV Ranger! Right. Vegetables, rocks, pieces of wood. No, I have the particular kind of meat configuration that I prefer is human 34-year-old woman named Rachel. T-bones are sexy as fuck, though. Yeah, but okay, let's be real. Everybody, can we at long last, finally, just tell the truth about this shit? We all know it. We know it's true. Ribeyes are the only good steaks. The other steaks are all inferior. Everybody knows this, and yet the lies persist. Is have some lean meat. Why would you want lean meat? That's not what's good. I'm sick and tired of New York strip or whatever. These other steaks positioning themselves as like competitors. Just be like, good steaks or shitty cuts. Good steaks are all ribeyes. The fattier, the better. I want them to cut this fat off the other steaks and wrap my ribeye in it. I don't like it too rare, though. Not too rare. Medium. It's like one time when I was a kid, or a couple times maybe, I got it a little too rare, and I was kind of grossed out by it. And then I, for a long time, got it pretty well done. After a couple of occasions, I got it too rare. And then I've only recently started going back to last 5-10 years, maybe, started going back towards rare. If it bleeds for you, you know it's loyal. That's a good heuristic. I'll keep that in mind. So does that mean it's a good idea to make it bleed as a test of loyalty? I'm getting hungry now too, actually. I'm starting to get a little hungry. I would like, Stephen, if you're going to the kitchen, can you bring me back, please, a barbecued ribeye wrapped in the fat of cut off of other cuts of meat, and then have that whole thing there wrapped in the fat of another ribeye. You throw out the extra part of the ribeye that you cut the fat off of. Then, okay, I want you to then dig a hole into it with like a knife or something and stuff it full of ground wagyu beef. What's it called? What's that shit called? Wagyu, right? The super fancy Japanese beef. Somebody said it in this thing. Heuristic is a rule of thumb. Like, if it moves, shoot it. Like, that's the only example I can think for some reason. I'm a little punch drunk right now, like I said. If it moves, shoot it. It's got to do it on its own. Stuff it with some wagyu. Stuff it with some beef. Stuff it with some meat. Stuff it with some fat. That's going to be super tender, is that? Put some butter there. Put some butter there. Butter up your steak and butter in your hair. Some of the cows listen to me, but some of them are classical music, you see. I'm feeling a little, I've talked about in the past things like I'm feeling pretty manic right now or whatever. I sort of feel silly using the term now. I think the mime tried to answer. Okay, we were talking earlier about mimes, and it's important we finish that conversation. Why is it called a ribeye? Because it's the steak cut from the prime rib. Yeah. All right, let's talk a little bit more about mimes. How many mimes does it take to equal an interpretive dancer? Buttering a penis makes it tender and juicy. Countess? You seem you're a little dangerous, son. Keep yourself and your butter away from my penis. Now, let's go back to the question of miming. More important question. It would be okay, however, for you to, on video, mime yourself keeping yourself and your butter away from my penis. Will be fine. If you wanted to mime it. Now, look, here's the deal with this. You're going to mime eating someone's penis, which is what I'm concerned about here. Can't be mine, because that would be too metaphysically painful for me to even know that somebody had mimed it. So little do I want somebody to eat my penis. Juliet Ferret likes girly things like kitchen spatulas. Well, that's good to know. Buttering a peener makes it covered in butter. Whereas buttering a teener makes it covered in smut. Buttering a teener makes it covered in butter. Buttering a peener makes it covered in smut. For those who don't know, teener, how many people do not know what the word teener means? Who knows what teener means? What's a teener? That's a nice trivia question. Nope, it doesn't mean taint. If you eat a mime, will it scream? It'll convincingly look like it is. Anybody else want to guess or say they know before I tell the answer? Nope. Incorrect, Hambone. Teener is a quantity of drugs. Specifically, it's a 16th. And it's half an 8-ball. A teener's half an 8-ball. No, a teener's half an 8-ball, everybody. All your guesses are wrong. You want to go in on a teener? Who hasn't said that a million times? Come on now. No, not a thinner. A teener. A teenth. All right. So listen, you squares. People who've had maybe more fun than they should in their life have said that on a few occasions to multiple different people. Like things like, like a very common statement at some point in my life was quite a long time ago, very long time ago. But, there was a phase where a very common statement for me was, you want to go on a teener? or should we get a ball? Or should we just get a ball? Should we just get a ball Should we just get a ball is a great name for an album. Want to go in on a teener? It would be on the front side of the album. And the back would say, or should we just get a ball? I haven't done that shit in a long time. But see, I have fond memories of my drug using times. I don't regret most of them. I do not have fond memories of my alcohol times, for sure. Those I don't have very fond memories of. But everybody's got their own relationships with their own substances. Bro, you want to go on a teener with me? Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was probably just get a ball. I like masculine men, especially if they use tools. Who may be trying? Me? I don't have any. I have no interest in getting anything like that, and not even any possible way of getting it. Oh, right, I did. No, I didn't want to say anything to the people. I wanted to talk about each of those people and find out what I had to say about them. Since you're all here, maybe I should do that. I guess I was thinking about it in terms of kind of a year-end thing. Like people that came to mind as significant in this past year around the channel. More in the second half of the year, I guess. Featuring Blow Tavin, a good place to start. Find me the 8, and how does he handle his house mail? Hi, Jeff. Oh, my debater Jeff's here. I'm making some jokes that are maybe I normally wouldn't make around a student. So, Jeffrey, if I say things that sound eye-opening, just assume I'm joking. And what if you simply mail Rachel her necessities? I think you're pretty safe up to 4 ounces now. I know a mailman from back in Florida said that was pretty common. I suggested that possibly. She and I talked about it briefly, and then I thought, I wasn't, I don't want to get in trouble with something that's potentially federal, which is the mail. Good night, Jeffrey. Jeffrey being here reminds me, makes me think about the current debate resolution and all the very, very interesting There's nothing I want to get. I mean, weed. I get weed all the time. I smoke weed all the time. I don't hide that from anybody. That I'm not worried about at all about anything, and I don't do anything that I'm. I don't do anything that I have to hide at all in life. So I don't hide the fact that I'm doing smoking weed, but there are nevertheless some more adult subjects that I make jokes about. That maybe Jeffrey would be offended. He probably wouldn't. His parents probably. I don't know. They know who I am. They get it. I was surprised when I had to explain to them about. Well, whatever. It doesn't matter. I just realized. Oh, of course they don't ever watch my YouTube channel. And I realized that's pretty self-important of you there to sort of presume that they're watching your YouTube channel. I think they check in occasionally, see what's going on. And here he is, of course, Jeffrey's here. With Adderall, make a good steak seasoning. It is a salt. It is mixed amphetamine salts. So, hi, Rachel. I love you, my precious, perfect angel. I'm happy to see your emoji. What do you call that thing? Your icon face? Your cartoon of yourself? Looky, 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 look. Looky, looky, look. Who's here? It's Ken Krishna Sarmapagu. Ken Krishna Sarmapagu. Walk into a pharmaceutical and there are lines upon lines of hard drugs. They're not really in lines, though, are they? More like in bottles, pills in bottles. I'd like to put DMT in someone's steak, but that probably wouldn't work too well. Never done DMT. You need meat. Yes, you do, King Krishna Sarmapagu. You've got to eat meat to make more poo to put on your shoe, King Krishna Sarmapagu. We were only taught a few words of Korean when I was stationed there, but one word was pharmacy. We were not allowed to go into their pharmacy because of the drug sold. Okay, I'm going to tell you what I know how to say in Korean right now. I'm going to say it. I'm going to mean it. Okay. 담배 피는 시간이다. 담배 피는 시간이다. 담배 피는 시간이다. 담배 피는 시간이다. Winston's mom, do you know what that means? 담배 피는 시간이다. Rachel's back. She's back and better forever. Better than ever. Time for a cigarette. Correct. Chris remembers from an earlier episode of Talking with Festival. Winston's mom, did you know the answer? Yeah, I did. I totally knew that answer. I'm Winston's mom, motherfucker. I know everything. You think I don't know that answer? I know that answer. I'm Winston's mom. Okay, making progress on urination. Here it's coming. Ready? Ah. Oh, yeah. That's good stuff. Oh. Ah. Ooh. Ah. Well, that's a long pee. Okay, so I want to use what just happened as an example of how cognitive function stacks work as value matrices. So last night, or maybe the other night, I don't know, I peed, and when I got back to the computer, somebody said, hilariously, I didn't hear a hand washing, mister, in the chat, right? So I was like, fuck, I got busted, you know? And tonight, I pee. Yeah, I remember that. And I washed my hand. But what I foremost do is note that I remembered that my impulse is to wash my hand, and then have to make a decision about whether I actually want to wash my hand, right? Like, okay, so now you know it's just pure FE, Eric. You parse it out. You're just like, you're weak on FE. And I was thinking, well, this is indicative of third slot. And I immediately sort of like cave, like, well, I'm just gonna wash my hand, you know, because well, that's probably a good idea anyway. In other words, it validates on TE grounds. But ultimately, the reason that I engage with the subject so as an object of analysis is because any is my dominant nature, and FE is an absolute value that I'm selfish about and also have a limited scope of deftness with. So somebody who's a more deft FE user might note successfully, like FE and I might think to themselves, that joke won't play again, probably. So the person's not going to repeat it. And besides which, you just ignore it and it'll get lost in the wash of things. Nobody's thinking about it but you at that point. You know? It's a more nuanced understanding of FE, I guess. So tool function, in some sense, is not much more nuanced than third slot in that it's fundamentally avoidant of mistakes. Same with TI tool function. It's avoidant of mistakes. Whereas at least third slot's aspirational. It tries to be do stuff. It tries to be instantiating rather than reactive or responsive all the time. I wash my hands a lot every day because I wash them every time I deal with my mom. Every time after I deal with my mom, I wash my hands. But I don't usually wash my hands after I pee in general. It's just like, I don't know. I just don't. Well, usually if I'm inside the house, I sit down to pee. I need another beverage. My lack of beverage is causing my mouth to explode with parchedness. Swift Eagle, do you know Quick Hawk and Fast Falcon? Candace, I haven't forgotten about the talking about people stuff and a year-end thing. And I suspect that tomorrow I will have time to devote myself to that project some. It is one that I'm excited about doing, and it's going to take some work, but I'm going to use Horse Mumbler's. I've got a couple of ideas. So anyway, Hambone, I think you're misspelling that. I think you mean meta suppositories. I misspelled it as well. I misspelled it the other way. I was talking about meat. It's pretty clear to me you're talking about meta. Meta suppositories are, well, I mean, I prescribe them fairly often to patients in my practice of metaphysicianry that I engage in. Some people, it's just, it's like I try to give them a regular meta pill, and they're just like, So I shove it up their ass. Say, okay, fine, you get the suppository one then. I metaphysically shoved up their metaphysical ass. Glenn Campbell. He is the inventor of Campbell soup. Yes, they'll forgive you. They would forgive you for that, but they won't forgive if you put mayonnaise on their sandwich. It's one of my favorite like pornography plot lines. Like, oops, I put mustard on your sandwich I'm not supposed to, and now I'm in trouble. The best way to help your meta self may be opening your chakras. Have you tried meditating, Hosark? Yes, I have been meditating before. When I lived in Santa Cruz, I sat at the Zen temple every day for quite a while, maybe 6 months or so, or almost every day, It was punishingly difficult, but it did definitely chill me out, Metasexually, okay? It's a little different. My meta self. I mean, the thing is, I could hardly be any more meta. It's not so much a perspective as it is a configural quality. Like, for example, when I think of washing my hands, you take an SFJ, for example. They're not going to take it any further than that. They're washing their hands because somebody called them out on it yesterday. They're not going to get called out on that again. Certainly, a ISFJ will be like that. They'll just be entirely mistake avoidant. ESFJ might be a little more nuanced, but they probably wash their hands every time. They probably learned that early in childhood and never stopped. I'm gonna have to administer I got some bad news and some worse news. Which do you want first? Okay, the bad news is I've got to administer this metasuppository. The worst news is I'm going to need to administer it metasexually. But yeah, mayonnaise sucks ass, doesn't it? Doesn't mayonnaise suck ass? Let's all agree on that. If you put mayonnaise on your sandwich, will you please stop? Because I'd like to end that sort of precedent, that sense that mayonnaise goes on sandwiches. Mayonnaise goes in the trash can. That's where mayonnaise goes. The only thing I can imagine ever putting mayonnaise on is a hamburger. A little bit of mayonnaise on a hamburger is good. That's it. That's the only thing. The only thing that's good with mayonnaise. That's it. One thing. And I can eat hamburgers fine without mayonnaise. I don't need mayonnaise on my hamburgers. Ham bone, ham bone, ham bone. I thought you were cool. Okay. I did. But now that I know you're a Mayo lover, why don't you go to the Mayo Clinic, huh? And get treated for your Mayo loving disorder. I forgot that that's the metric we use. Fuck, you're always going to win. It's not fair. You're always going to have higher SI. I believe, Hambone, you meant fork you. Fajuk is an island in Sweden. Fajuk. Fiuk. Only filthy beasts eat mayonnaise. Everybody knows that. If you eat mayonnaise, you're a filthy beast. Oh, wait. Oh, wait, says Alexander Cruz. Never mind. I love mayonnaise. How do INTJs use SI? Well, INFJs use their SI to come up with stories to tell about their past that they use in their FENI affectational package. INTJs use SI to remember instances in the past that can shed light on how to solve a problem in the status quo. Much more, so it's like basically INFJs use SI to get a little bit of the ISFJ FE shit into their mix too. INTJs use SI to get a little bit of the ISTJ style solvency approach in their mix too. Mayo gets my sandwich nice and moist. Moist from my mouth. Mayo in my mouth. Mayo gets my sandwich nice and moist. Moist from my mouth because there's mayo in my mouth. Mayo. Mayo Clinic. Everybody check into the Mayo Clinic. Your horse is named Mayo. You'd be better off naming it Moya. If you listen to him on the Smothers Brothers, well, Winston's mom, how much more time are you going to spend waxing poetic about Glenn Campbell? Did the Glenn Campbell estate hire you to come here and spam us about Glenn Campbell? Is that what's going on? Oh, you mean Mayo gets my sandwich nice and moist. Moist from my mouth. Moist from my mouth. Mayo gets my sandwich nice and moist. Mmm, mouth. Mayo gets my sandwich nice and moist. Nice and moist. Moist in my mouth. Moisture filling my mouth with mayonnaise. So good. Oh, I love it. You gotta mix my mayonnaise with some Miracle Whip. Yeah, I can do some. If you love Glenn Campbell so much, why don't you marry him, Winston's mom? God. Mayo gets my sandwich nice and moist. Mayo gets my sandwich nice and moist. Moist in my mouth. Moist in my mouth. Who puts mayo on grilled cheese? Fools. Fools put mayo on grilled cheese. So Bogey, Spock, and Peter Tork. Well, you still got Shatner. He's still around. Shatnering it up. My favorite episode of Animaniacs, or the one that I remember, the one episode of Animaniacs that I really remember, is the episode where William Shatner is on it, and he says, "My little friends, my small friends," all the time. So the Animaniacs, the Warner Brothers and their sister Dot, are sitting in some conference room at a hotel or something, and being compelled to sit through what they don't want to sit through, which is namely a William Shatner recital of his spoken word songs. And they keep interrupting him, and he says, "My little friends, my small friends." Even telling me like sit down and stuff. I don't know. I remember that. Ruse Moose. Who's fucking? He's a great fucking drummer. That's who he is. And I like what he did with the bass on that Mutiny Muse. No, he's Scandinavian. I think he's Scandinavian. I'm kind of guessing. I don't know. I think he is. I think I remember him saying Ruse Moose is something in like Norwegian or Swedish or something like that. So that's why I think he's Scandinavian. That's his video. Yeah, I mean, it's like all I did was put the vocals down. Right? Everything else is his thing. If that wasn't clear in the video. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. No, I'm a little slow tonight. I'm a little off the yeah. It was Japanese mayonnaise. Well, I thought, wow, he's so good. I bet he must be like, he must have a fair number of people. He doesn't even have any videos. He's got like one video that has no views on it. Eric, read my message. Okay, I'll read your message. What am I reading? Your message. How do you tell the difference between ENTPs and ESFJs? What do you think the ENTP does that ESFJ would never do? I mean, if you have access, are you saying just from observation, or are you saying you can interact with them? Are you asking for a question to distinguish with them, or something that they'll display that you don't have to engage with them at all? What video? One of mine? Not one of mine, right? It's one of his. Okay, well, it's that's because I couldn't get to work. Me live stream making music? Really? Huh. Okay, I'll figure it out at some point. Yeah. It's because I was trying to live stream last night, I guess, and I couldn't get to work. It kept saying it kept saying that it wasn't getting any stream from me. But I was peeing right on it. So I don't know why it would say that to me. It was befuddling me with its confusing condemnation of all that was good, just, and true. I'm really bamboozled by tiredness. Eric, why do you like talking into a camera, reading off words on a screen? It's not a critique. I just like to know what's in your mind. Why do I like doing this? I mean, I don't know. It's like my very favorite thing now. I can't really explain why I like to do it, except for cognitive function explanations that seem unsatisfactory. I've got 10 minutes left before I got to put my mom to bed. So, excellent question. Why do I like talking into a camera and reading off words on a screen? Well, I don't like the act of reading off words. I do like hearing what people have to say and having I like being asked questions. I love being asked questions. If you're in any dom and you're asked a question, you always have some sort of answers for it. Like this question, for example. I got quite a lot of answer for a question that I didn't initially necessarily think I had an answer for. What would the physical aspect of NI be? It's a timing thing. So waiting for the right moment to shoot your bow and arrow at a antelope or something. And I was watching this show, like Alaska show on Nat Geo Wild, I think. And it had these, I don't know, there's some kind of native people. There's some dude and his two kids who look kind of like darkish, I guess. There's some sort of native people, right? Anyway, when he was riding in the boat with his daughter and his son, and they're all being all quiet, they're waiting still, and he's explaining to the kid, he's like, you can't go out and take the animal. The animal gives itself to you. If you wait for the right moment, you'll know when the animal is giving itself to you. That's when you take the shot, one shot. You know, and then they all sit there in silence for such time. That's very NI-SE shit. Physical NI, you know? That's physical NI. Knowing when to take the shot, getting that sense of letting the moment come to you, letting the game come to you, is a sense of physical NI as well. A serious question. Two babies. One has an intimidating face at all times. People think shy. The other is friendly, fine, and try to get temporal. What axes are each one? Well, the one that's trying to get everybody's attention all the time is probably FE. Cause you can't stop the boogie when it's time to boogie down. If you stop the boogie, you'll start to frown. ISTJ have such poor NI, it's astounding to me. ISFJs too. Maybe it's why my ISFJ mom and my ESTJ dad could get along so well. He's polar and she's awfully shitty at it. But it's just in service of their SI. That's the problem. When you say NI is in service of something else, you've got a problem immediately, because NI is the singular truth. It serves its own singular truth. If it's trying to serve something else, then it's undermining its own value. Okay, I'm gonna go put mom to bed. It shouldn't take very long. I'll be back. You guys chat amongst yourselves for a minute. I got to go back in a second. I just put her on the toilet and I'm going to let her sit there for about 5 10 minutes. I've never heard of such things. Therefore, you are speaking nonsense. Well, oh yeah, she does. In fact, her SI, she's better at her SI than, yeah, she had dinner and she had the same dinner same time I did, which was later than usual. We had dinner at I had a big dinner at when I got home from work at 7ish or so. Anyway, thanks, Caleb K. It's because most of my normal clothes are dirty, so I had to dig a little deeper into the shelves. Mom's pretty good about her SI. She wants to go to the bathroom still, and by herself, prefers to be taken when she needs to go, but she just can't really express it, Oh yeah, I trimmed my beard. I forgot about that. I did. I trimmed it with scissors. It was one of those thwacky things. I was standing in front of the mirror and I made a couple little cuts. Like, I'm just going to trim it a little bit. And then, piety until it's where it is. ESTJ's problem is they don't know how to pick out the relevant aspects of the way they equally and focus on things that don't matter. True. You speak truth. Do other types use quotations as rhetorical tools of conversation, coach? NFJs, SFJs will tend to want to put quotes in their things. NTJs maybe too. I don't know. NTPs don't like using quotes. They have plenty of their own words. People can be difficult sometimes, but we have to give them a bit of room. At least you understand their different personalities have differences. This does not exist in my world yet. My new boar bristle shave brush that I got for Christmas smells like dead boar. That's one of my favorite smells. I think I have that scent of Glade air freshener, actually. How different does dead boar smell from living boar? Is it a big difference? Does it take an expert, does it take an aficionado to distinguish between the two? That's my question. All right, I'm going back in to get Mom up. I'm actually going back in to stand there for a bit next to her and tweeze the hairs on the bridge of my nose. Now the bridge is gone, I have to tweeze them myself. Anyway, I'll be back after I get Mom to bed. Chat amongst yourselves, please. So I'm thinking more about Candace's question of why I like to sit in front of the screen, read people's words on from a screen, and talk like this. I think it's a very interesting question insofar as it indicates exactly why we need some sort of explanation that answers the question why. When I try to answer that question without using any sort of cognitive function analysis, I struggle to come up with any explanation. With cognitive function analysis, it's easy to explain. Was Hitler a narcissist? Yeah, probably. I don't know. I didn't know him. You're talking about Adolf Hitler, right? German guy? Little mustache? TE first does not mean ends justify the means. Not necessarily at all. It does mean that it's hard for them to conceptualize questions that don't collapse into particulars. But oh yeah, he was definitely an INFJ. Bobby Hitler was an INFJ. He was so nice, and yet you can't tell that deep down he didn't care about anybody. Shadow suffers from the never-ending goal to achieve or be very depressed. I have an equivalent never-ending need to be productive or be depressed. Being productive is not the same thing as achieving, though. As far as I'm concerned, I'm being productive right now. That may be an explanation. I'm now a Synex. What's a Synex? Better than government. Yeah. Yeah, totally. Totes, Varax X, totes. I totally agree with that because then you're not talking about an individual exercise in an intentional manner. You're talking about the values and mechanics behind a TE worldview, which does indeed, there's no place in government. I agree with you. Jackie Kitty, me neither at Joel. An archetype, wise old man. I would say that over the course of any given live stream, I skate across a few different archetypes. Yes, starfish is one of my core archetypes. Starfish is archetypal because it crawls along the ocean just like we crawl through the days of our lives. Like this hair bothers me a great deal. Great deal. Because I spent all that time tweaking out on cutting my beard and what the hell? I miss this one long hair. Why? I don't mind the old man part. That's fine. You know, it's interesting because Al Michaels was doing the play-by-play for the Seahawks 49ers game. He's got to be in his 70s. So, perfectly the same amount of. Nobody thinks about it when he's doing the game, right? Oh, I'm sorry. Hambone got it right. I messed up the metaphor. because it reflects the stars in the sky and the ocean floor, creature symmetry. Thus am I too a creature symmetry. I'm metaphysically symmetrical. Physically, I'm kind of wonky. If NTJs rule, there will be a lot of unfairness very, 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 very fast, depending on the goal, obviously. I wanted to grow out my gray that I had since age 26, but I wanted to put dark red hair for a while. What did I bring up? Not nipped. Not NYPD. Not New York Police Department. Didn't think my Hockeys had a chance with all the injuries, but they had to get my hopes up. Your Hockeys? Your Atlanta Hawks? It isn't universal principle based, but who in office based? Who is in office based? I won't fuck everything up. Don't worry. Oh, the Seattle Seahawks. I see. It was a good 3 days. Great people, great wedding, and a great tour of the Perak state of Malaysia. How are things at your end? What a cosmopolitan comment, Jake Forrest. Marshawn looked a little tentative at a couple of moments, I think. I think the appropriate word there, apropos word is tentative. A little tentative. But I'm going to assume that was just first game jitters. How do I view sports as an interview? The thing is, I actually like sports a lot, but I'm pretty sure that's an SI thing. And it has little to do with anything else. I grew up in a family where sports were always a centerpiece of what was going on. Like, my mom would be outside gardening. She'd have the baseball game on. Dodger game. She's a massive Dodger fan. My dad, he'd always have the Laker game on every night on the radio. They usually have it on the radio while they're like reading a book and lying in bed or something. I remember that a lot from being a kid. My parents had this big radio in their room, and there would be Chick Hearn on the radio every night. No, it's more of a raw surprise thing a little bit. Like I like good games. I like to watch good football games. The thing is, my parents had season tickets to USC football. I was taken to the Coliseum to see football games for years and years, like every home game. My parents liked to drag me places I didn't necessarily want to go to as a kid. I had limited amount of ability to not participate in dad's fun ideas. So I do think I'm a very intelligent sports viewer. Like, when I watch football, I'll note things like he's baiting that corner or something, and the reason is because that guy's going to go there, and the safety is going to pull safety here, and then this guy's going to come this way. I mean, like, sometimes I see that shit developing or whatever, or note it after the play. I go like, oh, I see what's going on here. What's going on with the offensive and defensive coordinators' minds, so to speak. But that doesn't mean I'm not such a good thinker about football that I could be a coordinator myself, because it's too spatial. That's an SETI thing. But I do like football best, probably because football is the most TI sport of all. Matthias Sanchez, I just want to say thank you so much for getting me that camel. I've been wanting a camel for a long time now. And you got me one. And now I'm going to take it to the back room and have sex with it. I like boxing. I like MMA. I like sports in general. But again, just like with music, I like good song. And pop out shit. I like good songs. I don't like this kind of music or this or that artist even necessarily so much. I like good tracks. Same with sports. I like to see a good game, close game where it goes back and forth and you go like, oh, I can't believe we made that. You know, that shit. Jake Forrest is in England. Winston's mom. England. Can't drive across the ocean. All right. I gotta go to sleep. I'm so fucking tired. I think I might sleep well tonight. Thanks for being here. Sorry I didn't answer your question, Bruce Wayne. Your AI question was ignored. What can I say? Adrian B, it depends on the day. Today I took 60. First day I took 30. Jake Forrest is a chick, Countess. Jake Forrest is not a dude. You don't have to worry about Jake Forrest rapping you. Jake Forrest probably has to worry about you rapping her. Nobody rap each other while we're gone, okay? Well, look, I didn't say you're harmless, just say you're unlikely to rap Countess. I didn't say the Countess is unlikely to rap you. Thanks, you guys. Tuck me into bed after I get into the live stream, okay? Metaphysically. Remember, West Side.